Hey there, and welcome back to Sexpertease. I'm your host and favorite sexpert, the Erica Rivera, and today we're talking about something we've all been through at some point, and that's heartbreak. Whether it's ghosting, rejection, or the end of a relationship, we're going to discuss how to heal and move forward with resilience. So grab a cup of tea, and I have some Pocari Sweat. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'll be drinking some water, but grab a cup of tea and let's talk about how to reclaim your emotional power and start fresh. Understanding heartbreak. Heartbreak can be one of the most intense emotional experiences that we go through. And it doesn't research has shown that regions as physical pain. That's why it can actually hurt to be ghosted, rejected, or go through a breakup. Heartbreak can stem from different triggers. You might have been in a committed relationship that ended, or maybe someone you were just starting to trust disappeared without explanation. Even situationships and unrequited love can leave you grieving what could have been. No matter how heartbreak shows up, know this: you're not alone. Heartbreak is universal. Everyone has been through it in some form, and you can heal. This episode is all about giving you practical, compassionate tools to help you move forward one step at a time. When you're heartbroken, your brain is undergoing a chemical upheaval. Stress hormones like cortisol flood your system, which can lead to anxiety, sleeplessness, or even physical symptoms like stomach aches or tightness in your chest. This is your body reacting to emotional trauma. On top of that, your brain has likely associated this person with dopamine, which is the feel-good chemical. When that person leaves, your dopamine source disappears, triggering emotional withdrawal. This can make you feel empty, irritable, or unable to focus, much like coming off of an addiction. In fact, the grieving process for heartbreak often mirrors that of losing a loved one. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, these are not just the stages of grief, they're stages of healing from a broken heart as well. It's okay to take your time moving through each one. Ghosting is uniquely painful because it leaves you with no answers. There's no breakup conversation, no explanation, and no accountability. That silence can feel deafening, making you question what you did wrong or if you were ever valued at all. The absence of closure often keeps us stuck in the why. Our brains try to fill in the blanks, but without facts, we create stories that often blame ourselves. This loop of self doubt can be more damaging than the ghosting itself. But here's the truth: you don't need their permission to heal. You can create your own closure. Writing a letter you'll never send, journaling your emotions, or speaking your truth out loud, even to a therapist or a trusted friend, can help your brain process the pain and move forward. Rejection stings. Whether it's someone saying they're not interested or just pulling away emotionally, it can activate deep insecurities, making you feel unworthy, unlovable, or not enough. But rejection is never a measurement of your value. It's simply a mismatch of timing, chemistry, or compatibility. A powerful reframe is to view rejection as redirection. That person wasn't your path, but they may have shown you what you don't want or what you need to heal within yourself. Rejection often protects you from dynamics that weren't aligned with your growth. Letting go emotionally takes time, especially if you had hope for what could have been. But the sooner you separate someone's rejection from your self worth, the easier it becomes to reclaim your sense of identity and rebuild your sense of self. When a relationship ends, whether long term or brief, you're grieving not just the person, but the future you envisioned. Maybe you imagined holidays together, moving in, or even starting a family. The loss of those dreams can feel just as real as the loss of the relationship. Give yourself permission to feel the full spectrum of emotions: sadness, anger, loneliness, even relief. These feelings may ebb and flow unpredictably, and that's okay. Grief is a spiral, it's not a straight line. Tools like journaling can help externalize your emotions. And therapy offers a safe space to untangle complex feelings. And reflective time alone, like taking walks or meditating, can help you reconnect to yourself. The key is allowing space for your emotions instead of numbing or ignoring them. One of the most powerful tools for healing is setting boundaries. Boundaries in communication, you already know. But setting boundaries, that might mean blocking your ex, muting them on social media, or removing items that remind you of them. These aren't petty actions, they're protective. You're giving your brain a chance to detox emotionally. Trying to remain friends or staying in contact too soon often backfires. You might tell yourself it's for closure, but continued contact usually delays healing. Every message or update can reopen wounds or reignite false hope. Creating distance gives you the emotional space to begin rediscovering who you are without that person. Boundaries aren't about punishing your ex, they're about honoring yourself and creating the environment that you need to heal. Social media can be brutal, brutal after a breakup. Seeing your ex smiling, partying, or posting like nothing happened can be gut wrenching. But remember, social media is a highlight reel. It rarely reflects real emotions or struggles. Unfollowing, muting, or even deleting social apps for a while can drastically improve your mental health. Out of sight often leads to out of mind, giving you more mental space to focus on yourself rather than obsessing over what your ex is doing. Constantly checking their stories or posts only keeps you tethered to the past. You deserve peace. Give yourself the gift of digital distance so you can fully be present in your healing journey without unnecessary comparisons or emotional triggers. When you're heartbroken, even basic self care can feel like a challenge. And some of you guys are probably nodding your heads right now. This is like when your body and mind need nourishment the most. This is when we need it the most, but it feels like a chore sometimes, But you have to prioritize sleep, eat nourishing meals, and you have to move your body. These simple actions help regulate stress hormones and create a sense of stability. Emotionally, carve out time to care for your inner world. Journaling can help you track your healing process. Therapy gives you a safe space to process what happened. And sometimes healing means simply allowing yourself to rest without guilt. Imagine that. As you move through the grief, look for ways to bring tiny joys back into your life. Watch a show that makes you laugh. Revisit an old hobby. Spend time with friends. These aren't distractions, they're reminders that joy is still possible. Now let's talk about our identities, because a lot of us feel like we're we don't know who we are after a heartbreak. And that's just the thing, right? Heartbreak can make you question who you are. When we're deeply attached to someone, we often merge parts of our identity with them. After they're gone, we're left wondering, who am I without them? Now is the time to rediscover yourself. Maybe there were hobbies you paused or passions you put aside. What activities make you feel most you? What places or people inspire you to grow? Reconnect with the goals, dreams, or even silly joys that existed before that person even came into your life. You're not just healing, you're rebuilding. And that version of you on the other side of heartbreak, that version of you on the other side of heartbreak, they're wiser, more resilient, and deeply aligned with your authentic self. One of the hardest habits to break after heartbreak is rumination. If you've never heard of this word before, I'm going to explain. Rumination is when you replay conversations, overanalyze texts, and spiral into what ifs. But overthinking won't change the past. It only keeps you stuck in pain. Try shifting your questions from, why did this happen, to, what can I learn from this? It's a powerful way to reclaim control over the narrative and begin moving forward with intention. Mindfulness can also help you get out of your head and back into your body. Try breathing exercises, body scans, or even holding an ice cube in your hand to ground yourself. The more present you become, the less power the past has over you. This is an important one. Attachment styles. Our attachment style often influences how we experience relationships and how we cope with heartbreak. If you have an anxious attachment, you might feel abandoned or obsessed over why they left. If you're avoidant, you may shut down and pretend you're fine when you're not. Understanding your attachment style doesn't mean labeling yourself. It's about noticing patterns. Heartbreak can activate deep childhood wounds around love, trust, and safety. When you recognize the emotional roots, you start to break the cycle. Learning about your style, secure, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, can help you reflect on how you connect with others. With self-awareness comes healing. You can begin to form healthier relationships with others and with yourself. When we're in pain, it is super tempting to escape it. That might mean drinking more, diving into rebound relationships, or staying endlessly busy. While these coping mechanisms can offer short-term relief, they often delay true healing. Substances or casual hookups might numb the heartbreak temporarily, but they rarely address the root of your pain. Often, you wake up the next day still feeling empty, or worse, ashamed. Healthy coping means choosing yourself, even when it's hard. That might look like feeling your feelings instead of avoiding them, asking for support, or just allowing silence. Healing is not, it's not supposed to be comfortable. It just isn't. Healing isn't comfortable, but it's the only way through. Breakups can make you question your worth, especially if someone left without explanation. You might start to doubt your attractiveness, your intelligence, or even your value as a partner, but those doubts are heartbreak talking and not the actual truth. Start small. Celebrate wins like going a whole day without crying. That's a win. A win is a win. All right. Getting dressed when you didn't want to, also a win. Or you decided to set a boundary. A win is a win. Every step forward is evidence of your strength. Confidence doesn't just return, it's rebuilt. It is rebuilt. Every time you choose yourself, do something kind for yourself, or show up for your life, you're reclaiming pieces of yourself. You're not broken. You're not broken. You're becoming whole. Opening your heart again might feel impossible after heartbreak. And that's okay. Healing takes time and there's no deadline for when you should be over it or ready to date again. Remember, healing doesn't mean you forget that person or pretend it didn't hurt. It means you're no longer tethered to them emotionally. It means they no longer hold power over your present or future. Don't rush into love out of fear of being alone. Choose to love again when it feels aligned, safe, and joyful. When you do, you'll be choosing from a place of self-awareness and strength, not survival. There are so many people who choose to go back into relationships quickly out of survival because they're afraid to be alone. And that is not the right way to re-enter a relationship. If you're going through heartbreak right now, I want to say, I see you. This this is not easy. It's not easy. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But you're showing up, and that matters. Heartbreak changes us, but it can also be the very thing that reveals our resilience, our depth, and capacity for self-love. One person walking away doesn't end your story. It just ends that chapter. What comes next is yours to write, and it can be filled with meaning, connection, and the love you deserve, starting with the love that you give to yourself. Healing takes time. It's messy and nonlinear, but you're doing it, and the version of you that comes out on the other side, they're going to be stronger, wiser, and way more grounded in their worth than ever before. If you have a story of your own that you want to share with me, as you already know, here's my email, sexpertease@e360tvlive.com. Or you're more than welcome to find me at the Erica Rivera on all social media platforms. And feel free to subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/theericarivera, where we dive deeper into each episode. Subscribers get a sneak peek into the behind the scenes of the show, and you get a couple sessions with me too thrown in there. So make sure to subscribe, please. After every episode, I love asking for feedback. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing that these topics are relatable. I love hearing that. So until next week, please continue to stay curious and stay kind to yourself.